Devin McCourty is our guest as he says farewell to football and hello to media. And we have an opportunity here, but I'm sure you're considering are you fielding all kinds of offers?
All kinds of offers. I am a free agent looking for any deal on the table to say yes to.
All right, I'm sure this is just procedural, but I noticed the Patriots tacked an extra year onto your contract. Did I see that? Does that mean you could theoretically come back?
You know, the crazy thing is I signed something yesterday. Not even sure what was in it.
It's like an
pretty
extra.
I know one thing.
It's like a 360 music.
Right, I talked to Miss Nancy over there who handles all that stuff when you sign it, and she was like, "I'm sorry, it's the first time you sign a contract, and it comes with no money."
I think it's an extra like 1.6 million for that extra year.
That's what I should have did. I should have did something. I was like, "Yo, I'll sign this."
Okay,
but I should have said, "Let it come with like."
But you're not planning to go all Tom Brady on us and unretire at some point.
No.
Okay, you think Brady's done?
I don't know.
He's going to
I
Miami.
mean, listen, you go move
not.
down to Miami. You got a friend that's high up there. There was rumors you were going to get a little piece of the pie over there. If they said, hey, get a little piece of the pie, come back, try to win a Super Bowl. We just got Ramsey. We got weapons. Come back, couple months. You're at home. Your family lives here. If I'm Brady, different than me. If I'm Brady, who just threw 58 passes, I think, in his last game, can still do it at a high level, playing quarterback, I might think about it.
You would think about it.
I might think about it.
The team is stacked, too.
Yeah, stacked.
Yeah, and I mean, Tua, we talk about Tua all the time, and it's like Tua gets his bell rung one more time. He's done forever.
Yeah, now, I mean, if I'm telling like, y'all got to protect me. Yeah. And the ball, I mean, with time, the ball's coming out fast anyway. Right. So...
Well, let's get to. I'm on Mac Jones Island by myself. Well, Curtis is on with me now, but I have been.
I got evicted
all season long.
It kicked you off.
You've spoken pretty positively about the player. Wiggy just doesn't believe that he's the guy.
I don't believe he's. My question is this is your first media question. You're the owner of the Pats. You have the opportunity right now to give up 2 first-round draft picks to acquire Lamar Jackson and trade Mac Jones. Would you do that?
That's a tough question now because I think now you're asking about a guy who's an MVP of the league. But I think what it really comes down to is everybody wants Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. Can you sign Lamar Jackson to the contract?
Well, you got the money.
But are you going to? You had the money to keep Jacoby too. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Right, to me, if you wanted to pay him that, but I think the bigger thing is what can you build around him? That's my thing. Like right now, you have a quarterback on a rookie contract. You could put the best football team around. Like we're just talking about Miami. Like Miami's team is so good because Tua's on a rookie contract. So you just spread that money out. You look at Philadelphia this last year. So to me is I don't know if I would do that because once I give Lamar Jackson that money, we don't have enough right now. To me, that would be like this team's going to win a Super Bowl if we just put Lamar Jackson here instead of Mac. Like that's my thing. Like in Baltimore, they have a good defense. Play well on defense. Mm-hmm. On offense, every year we keep saying they got to get them weapons. They got to get them weapons. I would love to see Lamar Jackson in a legit offense, not what they do in Baltimore. Like it's going to win games. He's going to have stats. But I think him in a real offense, I know everyone talks about his throwing and all that. I think he'd be highly successful.
Well, they got Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator from Georgia, so let's see what he's. But my thing is, like, the problem I have is you're not putting pieces around Mac. So you're not spending the money that you'd be saving.
So go get Lamar Jackson.
So go get Lamar, and Lamar will elevate. You already you're almost built like Baltimore. Your defense is good, right? You can run. I think you got better weapons on offense as far as the running back situation. Now the tight end over there, Andrews, is pretty good, but Lamar is going to elevate everybody, and he's going to make your running game even that much more potent because now you have Ramondre, and you got to concern yourself with Lamar. I just feel like you're giving yourself a better opportunity to be a championship contender.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue against not bringing Lamar Jackson. Like I'm not. There's no strong enough argument that I can sit here and say like I don't want Lamar Jackson. Right. Like if you're being realistic, you have a chance to add Lamar Jackson to your football team. It makes you better right away because he is that dynamic of a player. I just don't think it's realistic to see the Patriots get Lamar Jackson. They had a chance to draft him at 18. Like he was sitting right there.
Right.
You could have had him post Brady ready to go. Now again, I've seen things happen here that I wouldn't expect happen So if they got him, I think everyone in this area would be hyped about what's next. But I think it's also hard to compare Mac Jones to, like, you're now saying, like, would you take Mac over Josh Allen? Would you like, there's, you know what I mean? Like, there's a group of quarterbacks.
Well, that's what I'm doing. I mean,
but there's a group of quarterbacks that, like, I'm taking them. If they're available, I'm taking them every day.
But that's what I'm doing as a fan, right? I'm looking at, if I'm following my team and I'm saying my quarterback, and nowadays it looks like the league is about that quarterback. And I know Curtis had this point, like, you either got the elite quarterback or you got elite talent around them. So you don't have the elite talent around them, and you don't have the guy. So if I'm a fan, how far are you really going?
But you don't know what you have. You had one rookie season.
Yes.
And that's my take on Mac Jones.
Thank you.
Well, I don't think he should be subjected to as much kind of displeasure and scrutiny that he gets. Is he had a good, like, we sat here as his rookie year and was like, hey, I know as a player, I was like, I'm with this. Like, I like this new era. We don't have Tom Brady anymore, so, like, let's throw out the things that you were able to do with Tom. Like, that's not walking through the door. And especially because anytime we compare players to what a guy became. So, like, we're comparing Mac Jones not to Tom Brady before I got here, like, around the time you were.
Right.
We compare Mac or Cam Newton to the guy that left us. Like, you're not gonna get that. So to get Mac to come in here, we go to the playoffs. It's like, okay, here we go. And then what happened this year from an offensive situation, coaching staff-wise, like, if Mac would have been great, then I would be sitting here telling you, give him $200 million right now, because if he would have been great with what we had from, and a lot of people talked about in training camp, there were a lot of rough days offensively. There's a lot of rough days.
We read the article.
Fire.
We read the article.
It was a dumpster fire.
If I'm honest with you, when we played Pitt, I was like, a little better than I thought it would be. I was like, this actually might be okay. Like, this from training camp, because as a defense, you're in training camp and you're like, all right, I think we're gonna be good. But as an older guy, I'm like, we're not that good.
Right.
I'm like, as a defense, like, we're good. We're not that good. Like, 5 completed passes, like -5 yards. Like, we're not that good. And Bill used to always say, you know, you have a good football team when training camp's like a heavyweight fight. Haymaker after haymaker, offense has a good day, defense has a good day. Like, he should be ripping one side every other day, and we didn't have that. So I think for Mac, like, he needs to have some consistency. He needs, like, right now is what we've watched in Tua's career. And I'm not saying Tua is the next great thing, but, like, he got a consistent offensive coordinator around him this year. He got weapons, and it was productive.
Devin, we talk a lot about Mac and Bill's sort of, with this show all year, lack of a desire to stand behind Mac Jones. When Mac got hurt, I asked him, if Mac is healthy, will he be the starter? He wouldn't say it. After the year, he said that Mac is a guy that can play quarterback in this league. The game I'm most interested in is the Bears' Monday night loss at home. There was a lot of conversation following that game about Mac being pulled after the interception, that it was the game plan, it wasn't the game plan. Did that cause any issues between the quarterback and the coach? And what was the player reaction to how that was handled on Monday Night Football?
Well, so he didn't necessarily get pulled, though. So the plan was for both guys to play. So Mac was coming back off an injury. I think the thought was, I don't know if he can play the whole game, so I don't want to have him do the whole game, and then we get to the fourth quarter and his leg starts to die on him. Like, I know I've experienced that, where you come back, we're all crazy football players, you numb something up, the numb kind of wears off at the end of the game. So I think that was a little bit behind it. But I will say, when you're at the game and you're watching the game, it didn't look like that. Like, you
it
watch
didn't sound like that.
Yeah, you watch the game. We're struggling on offense. The crowd starts going Zappy, and then Zappy comes in and we score 14 points in like 3 or 4 minutes. So it didn't look like that. I think player-wise, I think there was enough trust that, like, hey, we're going to put the best guy out there. But I think the struggles on offense always turned into, I think there were some guys that are in the locker room like, all right, let's go with Zappy. All right, no, Mac looked good today. It was just a back and forth, which to me spoke more about what we had on offense than the quarterback. Like, we never were solidified as an offensive group that guys had full confidence in anything we were doing. Like, if something worked one day, like running the ball with Mondre and when Dame was healthy and them two were going back and forth running the ball, everybody said, let's run. And then if we had a game where like we're throwing the ball, let's pass. Or let's just not turn the ball over because we're scoring on defense. Like it was, to me, it was just that cycle of there was never like true hope. And I'm not saying
and that's because Patricia only installed 10 plays.
Well, and I'm the guy that too. I'm not blaming. I think it was a group thing. Like I'm not saying just Matty P because Matty P is a defensive coordinator by training and knows defense. And because he went to Detroit head coach, I think he has some experience with kind of the roster and doing things like that. And I don't think Matty P was like, I don't think he came into 2022 and was like, you know what? My next thing is to be an offensive coordinator. You know, I don't think that was his plan. No. I think it morphed into that, and I don't like blaming just him for that.
Doesn't that ruin the trust between Mac and this organization? If I'm Mac Jones and I look at how last year played out, I don't want to be here anymore. Whether it's the Zappy situation, how the fans, there were rumors about the fans, taunting his family, them having to leave. It just doesn't seem, the media reports that have come out about him, everything has gone against him. And it just seems like
there's no vote of confidence from Bill.
He and Bill are just
that would be
at
my biggest
odds.
thing.
So I would say if he felt like that, then what? Go be a backup somewhere? Like, I think that's the reality for players too. Like for us, you're in your rookie contract, you're on a team. No matter how it goes, like the best thing you can do is play your best ball. Because if you really don't want to be there, you need to go out there and make somebody want you to either trade for you or that when you become a free agent, you can look at the team and say, you know what? It was a tough time here. I'll stay if you give me whatever your number is or I'm leaving. And I know I have a market, but when you don't know like what's going to be on the other side, for Mac right now, I got a chance to be the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots. Like if I do this well, we're going to be on primetime TV. Everyone's going to love to see us. They're going to want to see us fail because that's like what New England is known for throughout the rest of the league. So I think you have to take advantage of this opportunity. No matter how you feel about the team or Bill, you got to go play, and I think you got to form that relationship with the guys because that's more important.
Does it surprise you that the media reports have come out and all the anonymous, sourcing that's come from everywhere, but then you add in the NFLPA, the report card, and all of the players? Patriots weren't graded great, so it's been one punch after the other when it comes to this organization this past season.
Well, I will start off saying I love the report cards because it was a look behind the scenes for everybody else. Like there were barely any teams that did that well on the report card in general. So I love the kind of look under the hood for fans and other people around it. But yeah, I mean, I think for me, that's what New England is. Like you're not going to be a good football player in New England if you can't handle chaos, really. Like in 2014, we said bench Tom Brady and start Jimmy Garoppolo. Like think about what we're talking about. In 2014, we lose to Kansas City on Monday night, and every time I took an interview, I was literally answering questions about, do you think Jimmy should be the starting quarterback next week against Cincinnati? And like I was kind of shocked because obviously I played 10 years with Tom, but I watched Tom as a quarterback for 10 years. Right. So I'm like, I'm not even qualified to answer this question. Like, this is a joke. So I always think of sources, this, that. I think it's dumb. And I think as a player in New England, if you can handle that, like you don't have to worry about anything else in your career. Like you'll be fine other than kind of like New York media and stuff like that, where you'll kind of get some of the same things. It's just, I think that's how it's going to go. And for Mac, that's not going to change. And it sounds so crazy, but the only way that stuff goes away is if you win a Super Bowl.
And in your mind, being there and seeing him play an additional year under Bill O'Brien, he progresses in your mind.
Like I was talking to him, I was like, how you like it with Billy O? He was like, it's awesome. Like he was like, we've just been able to talk ball, do different things, talk about things. And I think like that's what it's about. For one, they have a lot of familiar people around them with Billy O being at Bama last year. So I'm sure being able to call on some of the things that he did at Bama and who he was with and the guys, like that all helps build a relationship. And I think that's the key now, like Billy O and Mac building a relationship. And I think Mac and Zappy close to age, like they're cool. I think all of those things are very instrumental in how you build and do things. And I think now they're going to have the opportunity to do that at a high level, which we watch other teams do. Like we watch Josh Allen with Daboll, now Daniel Jones with Daboll. Like that is the key to seeing quarterbacks be successful.
The one thing I want to know, do they still fear? We talked about respect and everything, but you're in that locker room, and I think the modern player is just different, right? And I wonder if there's still, we use the word fear or respect, Bill, to the same, because I know, like you said, it was.
Can we get the answer to that question when we come back?
That's fine. Yeah, I just wanted obviously
because you're talking about Kendrick Bourne
or the Jack Jones situation.
Guys talking publicly, guys talking privately, guys maybe
who's the
barking
shower
at
check homie?
Okay,
the Herald story with like 30 different sources at the end of the year.
All right, so before you go and we go, we'll get to that next. All right,
Sounds good.
Devin McCourty's our guest. We'll be right back.